Okay, so this is actually specifically for people who read professionally. If you read tarot or you do any sort of divination professionally, whether it's casting um, runes, whether it's pendulum work, whether it's tarot, whether it's scrying, whatever your divination thing of choice, right? So here's the thing. I realized that, well, this is kind of a between the time that I was reading professionally inside of a crystal shop versus the time that I was reading professionally in my own apartment. Not, I'm gonna do a different video about the differences and why I prefer to never read in like a crystal shop or in like another person's energetic space, but that's not the message that, and all of that message, the part of the reason why I want to hold off on that is because I am not entirely sure, right? And again, I'm only speaking from my experiences, not trying to tell you how to live your best practice, right? But from my experiences with that, while I could tell the distinct difference in the energy, I also could tell there's a lot of different factors, right? There's so many different factors that come into giving I'm going to hold it good, subjective, right? Subjectively good reading. And the thing that I know that helped me the best was not where I was per se, but what I did for myself and what part of my rituals were, right? That being said, here's some things that I noticed for me, and I'm just sharing them on the off chance that somebody else can relate or needs to hear this. If you are a professional reader, do not put more effort into your clients than you do into yourself. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. It's gonna sound so mean. I was doing that. I was putting more of my emotions and myself and my soul into doing readings for other people than I would ever do for myself. And the thing about that is that actions inherently speak louder than words, right? So if you do that, you are abandoning yourself and you are telling yourself, I am not worthy of this effort. What? 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 Like, which is the absolute, like, opposite energy that you want when you are trying to, I didn't want to say trying, when you are connecting to the divine, it's like you're on a totally different frequency by your actions, and that's your normal frequency, right? And when you're tapping into higher intelligence, you will only be able to get messages that you are up to, like, if this is your lowest vibration and this is your highest on average, you'll only get messages between this range, which means that other people will get messages between this range. There are people that are getting a message between this range. It doesn't matter where your range is. All tarot readers, all readers, are all divination, all people that connect, everyone on their journey, it's all valid. It's all a matter of where that person is both on that journey and what you can receive. And if you harmonize with that person, it's because you guys are fluctuating within the same frequency. That's why people always like to say I'm on your same wavelength. Except, here's the thing. You can't constantly go to a reader that is not putting themselves first, because then, how do I put this? Unrelated. Actually, wholly unrelated. Spirit just, yeah. But in that same vein, in that same idea, you also can't you can. I mean, that's the thing. I was about to say, like, you can't do this and you can't do that, but here's the thing. You can do anything that you want. You can literally, like, you can do anything that you want. But as readers, I want you to to be cognizant of what your actions are saying to yourselves. And for some people, this is not going to resonate, and that's totally fine. This is not for you, and keep it moving. But for the people that this is for the people that this is, where they're out here grinding, trying to make it, I did that for a long time. Like, the constantly trying to read for other people when my own spiritual ducks weren't in a row. I don't know why, but that that came because my own spiritual ducks weren't in a row. So one of the things that I'm definitely realizing now with other people's divination practices, we need to tighten them up. And this one is for me specifically, but maybe someone else can resonate. The way I had been reading, I'd been putting a lot of limitations on myself based off of what I did to prepare for my readings, because I was not confident in my abilities to read, right? So I would be like, I need to fast. First off, there's nothing wrong with fasting. Fasting is fantastic. I think it's one of the best ways to give you a spiritual insight. I'm not going to tell you how to live your best life, but there are very historic reasons for periods of fasting. I'm not going to get into them. This is not that kind of podcast. But what I am going to say is that if you do it for the right reasons, because I also, for my personal journey, I had issues with eating. I had a lot of issues. I'm going to be super honest. It's part of why I feel so qualified to stick my nose into everyone's business, is because I've been through so many different things. But that's neither here nor there. The thing that really affects your reading as readers is your own mindset for what limitations you're putting on your readings. For me, I was like, oh, I really should be fasting before I do this reading, or I really need to go out and ground myself before or after this reading. I really need to make sure to cleanse myself and my space and my decks before these readings. And first off, one, yes, good spiritual hygiene, but I was doing more of my spiritual hygiene work as a result of doing readings instead of a result of having the habit and keeping the habit and practicing the habit. Now, for the record, I have mostly air and fire in my chart, so I am all over the place. But that doesn't change the fact that you can afford to start being, I don't want to say like lax, because like there's seasons and ups and downs for everything, right? I don't want to say lax, like you're just going to be like lackadaisical with your spiritual rituals, but you can afford to switch up things and try things and experiment with things after you get down what has definitely worked or what has consistently worked, right? So your spiritual path for other people is going to be so, like, your spiritual rituals, they need to be distinct for you, because you know what works best for you. You know what resonates with your soul. And again, I can speak from experience, either being out here or seeing people out here that have been entirely too busy trying to read for other people instead of getting themselves together. And well, this is my spiritual business, or this is the spiritual business that I'm trying to create. Yes, it is. And that's beautiful. And I am in no way, shape, or form taking that away from you. However, what I am saying, or what I am adding to this, is the fact that there is, I don't want to say that there's like a sense of Spirit, help me to be nice. and honest. There is this. All right, I'm gonna say it, and I will see myself out. You don't have to cancel me. I'll cancel myself. So there's this idea that you don't have to do anything in terms of spirituality, and the fact is like you really don't. There is nothing that is required of you. There is nothing that is required of you. However, there are consequences of actions. And everyone's like, oh my god, this is such a common sense fucking thing. Yeah. Yes, it is. It is a common sense thing. But it ultimately, it's not even just a common sense thing. It is, if you continue to do readings that are ill-intended, and I am speaking specifically to one person right now. If you continue to do readings that are ill-intended, there will be consequences, and that's not on me. That's not on you. That is on your spirit team and your inner self, and I have nothing to do with that one. I'm going to segue from that really heavy message that came through, and I am so sorry for the people that like came here just for the one time, just to keep it like light and sweet and stuff, and I am so sorry because that was not my intention. Segue. I'm a person, like a whole ass human, like, wow, right? So I'm a whole ass human, and in my spare time, when I am not consistently doing readings, giving readings, I live in places where it is legal to smoke. Usually. Okay. We're on the road now. We're adventuring. So usually I'm in places where it is legal to smoke. And I'm not going to tell anyone how to partake, how to live their best life. But I had a point in my journey where Spirit has said, this is doing you more harm than it is doing good. And I, with my infinite wisdom, trying to force things with the universe, said, bet, and then proceeded to do what the fuck I wanted to do, because no one's going to tell me how to live my best life, spirit team included. And one, I don't even want to tell you how counterintuitive that is, like, ever. And I pray that you never make that choice. But here's the thing. Being an experienced reader, and I am so fucking sorry to put people on blast like this, but I have had people who knew that this job, knew that this person, knew that this habit, knew that this whatever was not good for them and continue to do it. I am that person too. I understand you. Like, I am so sorry that you were in that position and feeling like you cannot give up that thing, right? And you feel like you can't remove yourself from that situation or give up that thing. But here's the, on my life you can, because I know for a fact that as much power as we like to give our addictions, as much power as we like to give our the people in our lives, the circumstances, the thing, here is the fundamental truth of any sort of divination work, any sort of spiritual practice, any form, and I can't say this like objectively across the board. This is definitely a subjective truth in my opinion, but I feel like it translates to everyone. The objective truth is that you are so much more powerful inside of yourself than you will ever be externally. What do I mean? I mean that you and your soul is everything that allows you to translate these messages, to give these messages, to give that piece of advice that people didn't need or didn't need at the time that they, when you're conversing with them. This has nothing to do with your ability to say the right thing as much as it's your ability to just listen and be in the right place at the right time, because sometimes you don't need to know everything. You definitely don't need to. There's times where I will sit there and rack my brain about where do I need to be next in spirit? Where should I go? And then I'll get into a random thing with random people that I didn't know or only casually knew, and then be hooked up with all of the resources that I didn't know I needed, because spirit is just really good like that. So I'm not here, again, to tell anyone how to live their best life. Nobody is telling you how to live your best life. But I'm also not trying to put anyone on blast. Like, I really absolutely am not, because the fact of the matter is that, yes, you can read very well on certain substances and certain medicines. They are, in fact, medicines for a reason. They are plants for a reason. And I'm not just talking marijuana. I'm talking all sorts of fucking plants. Okay? But that being said, it's like the second tier of an ego trap. If you didn't hear my thing on ego traps, I will make sure to re-upload it and throw it around somewhere. Okay. That being said, again, I'm really, really, absolutely not trying to tell anyone how to live their best life. And I think it would be almost hypocritical of me to continue to do readings without giving this kind of like disclaimer to people who are also doing readings or professionally doing readings. And I'm not shaming anyone. I think that, first off, shame is probably one of the lowest vibrations of things that we can experience that will keep us trapped, next to fear. Okay? And if you want a video on shame, you can go ahead. If you want to hear other videos about readings or things that I've learned from readings, I have seen some things in readings. And I've experienced some things in readings. And for me as a reader, it was both really... It was fantastic to get that confirmation, but it was not exhaustive, in the sense of, you can't be constantly looking for confirmation if you're the reader. You have to just trust. And that's one of the things that, honestly, every time I get a lesson from the universe about trust, I get hype. I get hype, but I get mad, but I get hype. Because trust, fundamentally, is the thing that... Sorry, everywhere I go, I'm super wrong. Okay. Yeah. I get hyped because, like, I know that we always are growing. We're always going through these lessons. We're always experiencing newer things. We're always having better and better lessons and growing ourselves. And, like, good, I want to be constantly growing. But also, that lesson on trust, though. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go, because apparently I am wanted, and hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this is beneficial. If it wasn't, I don't want to hear about it anyway, so do you. Bye!